Hello everyone and welcome back, and apologies for the dreadful lighting today. It is so sunny right in front of the window where I sit today, and I've faffed about so much with this lighting, these blinds, you would not believe, and I've just given up in the end. So I'm hoping it's going to go a little bit duller and the sun's going to just slightly tone down and my lighting will be beautiful again. Because I don't use any other lights, I just literally sit in front of a window. But today, looking at this, looks like the worst it's ever been. Anyway, hello. I've not done a Mounjaro update for months and I do apologise. I've had so many people message me saying, have you stopped taking it? Are you not doing your videos anymore? So I just thought I'd come on and give you a little update and explain to you why I haven't. So, when I first started with this channel, the aim for me was I knew I had a big holiday coming up and that I wanted to do. So, honestly, I cannot believe these lines on this. It's awful. Oh no. Should I carry on or should I do it again? I'm just going to carry on. Otherwise, this video is not going to get made. So yes, when I started this channel back last summer, it was really for me to blog and vlog about my holidays, and I had the big holiday coming up last month and earlier this month, so February, March, where we were doing Singapore and a huge big cruise all around Asia, and I wanted to vlog the story instead of just simply taking photographs and then like not looking at them again or ever getting them printed off. So a lot of the time, and also please excuse me today because I've come home from this holiday. We've been home now 3 weeks and I still feel absolutely rotten. It was basically just a bit of a cold kind of slash flu. Jed and our friend Jackie had a really bad cough. Poor Jackie ended up with pneumonia. She's still really exhausted and poorly, but battling on. Jed's a lot better, and I just can't get rid of this catarrh and yeah, constantly blowing my nose. So if I stop and blow my nose, you know why, or if I'm snuffling. So yeah, the big holiday was absolutely incredible, and for me, a lot of this channel has been about learning, about vlogging, and practicing in various kind of methods for that holiday. And along the way, I started talking about my Mounjaro journey, my weight loss journey, because I started taking Mounjaro last summer. So it was July the 25th, 2024. So I have now been taking Mounjaro for 8 months. So let me talk through with you now those injections, and I'm going to tackle 3 questions that I always get asked by people when they know that I take weight loss medication. Because do you know, it's people can be really judgy and quite rude, but you know, this is just my journey and all I can do is share with you and be really, really honest about what's happened and what's happened to me. So the 3 big questions I get asked are side effects, and yes, I am going to tell you probably the worst thing that happens to me most months. I kind of do have 2 side effects. And I'll talk about them both, but I don't want to show you one because yeah, it's honestly, it's weird. I don't know if this happens to anyone else, so please do tell me. And the other one, the next question is, how long are you staying on it? And the obvious big one is, how much weight have you lost? So without further ado, let's crack on. So let's talk about side effects. Now, I get quite a lot of messages from people I don't know and also my own friends or acquaintances asking about side effects, and they say they want to try Mounjaro or the weight loss medication, but they say that their friends have taken it and their friends have had serious side effects. Now, I would just like to say I'm not a medical practitioner. This is all my own experience, what's happened to me and my own thoughts. This is in no way advice. So please, you know, if you do want proper medical advice, then go and seek it from your GP, medical practitioner, somebody who knows about this. This is just my experience. So lots of people message me and say, my friends did it and they were very sick. Okay, let me tell you, since I have been taking this weight loss medication, GLP-1 Mounjaro, I have never been sick once. okay? But there's a few things that you probably need to know about me. I barely drink alcohol, and I think that is one of the main things for you to consider if you do want to take this medication and you don't want to give up alcohol. I can honestly say since last July, I had one glass of wine when I was at the airport lounge. I think I've had maybe 2 or 3 Baileys, all on separate occasions. So I'm not really the biggest drinker. So I do know people who take it and they might binge drink over a weekend. I don't know how they do it, and that makes them sick. But they were probably sick anyway. Like if they hadn't been on the drug and they'd have gone out and binge drank, would they have been ill? I honestly don't know. So, if you are a big drinker and you like having a drink, then I don't know if this is something that you should consider. But for me, I'm really not a drinker. So I've never been sick. Now, that is not to say that I've never not felt sick, because sometimes I do experience feelings of nausea. Now, these can happen at all different times. I tend to feel nauseous, if that is even the word, nausea, I don't know. I tend to feel nauseous probably if I take my injection on maybe like the end of or the beginning of the second day, so the end of the first day. I tend to take my injection last thing of a night before I go to bed, and I normally do it on a Sunday night or a Monday night. I find that how much I can really eat is a lot less straight after I've taken the injection. So kind of like days 2 to 5, I've really got no appetite at all. I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I forget about eating. I know that sounds really weird to say, but you just do forget. I think if you drink enough, like I drink loads of cordial. If you know me, you'll know I'm a cordial gal. And I make sure in these drinks that I have today, this has got my vitamin and my mineral in it, and I have started taking electrolytes as well. um so just make sure that you're getting enough of everything that you need. If it's minerals, vitamins, I've always taken minerals, probably started taking minerals 2016, because I do have a problem with fatigue, and the minerals really help me. And if I don't take them for a couple of days, then yeah, it really affects me. I'm going to pop in a picture of them somewhere here, and I'm also going to pop a link in. Now, I am an affiliate for these minerals. I normally have them on my Instagram link tree, like I have a little link tree there, and I've always had the affiliate link on there, so I will pop it in the description below. And honestly, they've helped me massively for years and years and years. They're not cheap. I normally buy them, well, I do buy them on a reoccurring bill, kind of like every month, and they're from a company called Simply Naturals, and I will not be without them. Like I say, I've been taking them since 2016, but going back, I had a real problem with fatigue probably from my early 30s. After I had my children, I really suffered really badly with fatigue, and if, like I say, if I don't take them, I really notice. So, like I say, I've never really been sick when taking Mounjaro. And also, I don't know what it's called, I had that thing that's wrong with you when you're pregnant, where you're sick every day. And it's just horrible. It's just a real struggle to just get through. Yeah, so I have a real big fear of being sick. And I think that's probably a big part of why I maybe don't drink, because I was constantly sick the whole time when I was pregnant, and even during labour, it was just not nice. These lovely, beautiful women, and I just felt rotten, didn't feel great at all. So I think that's possibly, but even when I think back, maybe before I wasn't really a big drinker. I would rather have a big glass of orange cordial. I know I'm sad, or a lovely coffee, and that is me. That is me happy with my drinks. So yeah, never really suffered with the sickness. However, I have suffered with diarrhea. Oh, do you know what? It's awful, and I don't really want to talk about it, because um it's just not a nice thing, is it? Like it's just not. And I think the problem for me with this is whenever I eat anything that is, well, has high contents of fat basically. So things like ice cream, and it doesn't necessarily happen like instantly. Sometimes it does. And I'm talking maybe like 10 minutes and I've got to go to the loo. Or, and I don't know whether, and I can't say that's a coincidence because I've noticed it's like a pattern every time. And it's not constant. It's not like I have diarrhea all the time. It's basically when my diet isn't great. So if I was to have, it's basically it's ice cream. I don't really have it with anything else. Or do I? Let me just try and think. I think maybe if I don't cook, if we go out somewhere, like if we go out for like a Sunday dinner, it's just a struggle because portions in restaurants, as I've talked about before, they're so huge. And I'm trying to reduce my portion sizes. So eating out's quite a bit of a struggle. And a lot of the time, I do have to kind of like not eat stuff. And we would never go out when I've taken the injection at the beginning of the week. I mean, even we popped out last night for some dinner because I was late finishing work. Jed had been in the gym and we just popped out for something to eat. And I'm due to take my injection tonight. And yeah, I had I had a starter. So I had these, it's like cauliflower. They're not battered. They're like, I don't know what they are, but they're like a cauliflower starter, and then they've got like sour cream and it's like a barbecue thing that they're cooked in. Honestly, it's really weird, but they're really, really nice. And that was enough for me. I didn't want a big meal. And I was absolutely fine. So yeah, the diarrhea tends to come for me if I'm a little bit naughty, if I have some ice cream or maybe a piece of cake. Because I know it's naughty, but I still do like to have some things. And you would not believe the amount of things that I say no to at the moment. Like whereas before I would have just had them. And but yeah, like I say, it's not every day that this happens to me, but I know it's a consequence of maybe eating something that isn't the best choice. So that is the number one question, is side effects. So if you're contemplating taking it, or you're, other people who are taking it and they are having those side effects, whether that be sickness, you want to be, I know it's difficult, but, I know people who mess around with this drug and they take more than they should, or they're just not changing their diet at all, not changing their lifestyle. So yeah, it's tricky. It's really, really tricky. So you've kind of got to really listen to your own body and make your own decisions and listen to those medical professionals around you and not mess around with it, not take too much. Or there's this thing called the golden dose, which is the bit left in it. I don't mess around and, try and syringe that out. That's not something I do. So they're my side effects: nausea and also the diarrhea. Sorry about that. Sorry if you're eating. Hello everyone, it's Future Lisa here, and now I've had to just nip back and do another little video because I forgot to tell you about my second side effect that I have. Also, burping. I don't really class this. That isn't it, by the way. That's not the side effect. But I seem to have been burping loads today, and I know lots of people do suffer with that. I don't normally. Big fat yawn. But yeah, today the burps have been bad. Anyhow, let me tell you about this other side effect that I have. The lighting's still awful. And I never had this problem at the beginning, which is why I've never talked about it before. And it's only probably been something that's happened maybe the last, I don't know, 5 months. That I've been doing it 4 or 5 months. And basically, when I do an injection, I get like a red mark around it, and sometimes I do get bruising. And I never had this problem at the beginning. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. if you've had this problem, please can you let me know, or can you give me some advice on what I should be doing? Yeah, I kind of get like about a centimetre all around the injection site. It goes red. Doesn't matter whether I do it in my arm or my tummy, wherever I do it, I just get this little pinky red mark that's around it. And yeah, I just wondered if anybody else has it. It's not a big deal, it's not a big issue. Um, I don't know if anybody else has this, or is it just me? Please tell me it's not. Um, but yeah, there we go. That is my other side effect. That is it. Bye. Anyway, okay, next question. How long are you staying on this? Now, I started last July, so I have been on it now for 8 months. I've done 2 months on 2.5, 2 months on 5 milligrams, 2 months on 7.5, and I'm just finishing my second month on 10 milligrams. So I'm probably going to go up now to the 12.5 when I get my next dose, which is due now. And some people just go straight up, you know, they don't do they just kind of go 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10. I felt like I'm not in any rush, and I'm happy with my weight loss. I'm happy with it being steady, trying to find that balance. And also because of the nausea, and I wanted to just kind of take it easier, because pre taking Mounjaro, I do suffer with nausea. So I didn't want to kind of like push it too fast and too hard. And you can stay on it, you know, you can stay on that dose if you're happy and you're still losing weight, then you can keep doing that. So the third question is obviously, how much weight have you lost? Now, some people might not necessarily think my weight loss is that brilliant, but I am balancing, like, we love our holidays. So, you know, we have started taking it in July. August, we went to Lanzarote and we stayed in an all-inclusive hotel, and we did eat out quite a bit. But my food on that holiday was brilliant, and I think I might have even have lost a pound that week. I can't honestly remember, but I know I didn't put weight on. Then October, I went back to Lanzarote and I stayed with my friend. And the whole time I've been taking Mounjaro, I've either lost weight or maintained weight. I've never put weight on in the whole 8 months. Now, that's really unheard of for me, because with things like slimming clubs, I won't mention any in particular, but I've done them all. You know, I would lose 5 or 6, 7 pound. One week I lost 9 pound at a slimming club. And then I would probably either maintain or lose for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then I'd put weight on again, and the habits would creep back in. So for me, I couldn't maintain anything previously to taking this weight loss injection to more than a month. It would be like totally yo-yo. And then my other problem was, before taking this, is the binging, and you know, the eating was just totally out of control. Now, you can't do that with this. You can't say, I'm having the weekend off. You know, you can't say, oh, I'm going to somebody's party at the weekend and I'm just going to be myself and eat and drink what I want, because it is not possible. You just can't do it. And that's the same for going on holiday as well. I've taken my injections away with me, and still carried on taking them while I've been away. So yeah, and then we had Christmas. Christmas was always a big problem for me. In the past, I'd always put weight on. This is the first Christmas I've not put any weight on. Then we started a new job in January, and I think I've been managing that really well, to be honest. I've been out shopping today and bought some food, so I'm going to do a bit of batch cooking this afternoon or this evening. And I think that's the hardest thing that I struggle with, is preparing food, not only for me but other people, and then coming home from work, and if nobody else has done that, then it's down to me, and I'm last minute, and you know, that's a bit of a problem, and that's something I need to address and you know, make better. So then we had a big holiday. Then we had like Singapore, 3 nights in Singapore, and then we were on a cruise. Now, the way I do holidays now is, it's really hard. This is really hard, because I have to I have to say no to other people. or I have to sit there while other people are eating. And I can see, especially on a cruise, you see so many people piling the plates high. And I have to sit there and think, am I hungry? Do I want this? You know, because sometimes the old me goes, yes, you do want that. And I'm going to talk about ice cream because previously to this, I could have a massive, great big bowl of ice cream overnight, and it's probably something in it, sprinkles and bits and bobs now. And I've told you my problem that I have when I eat ice cream, and yeah. So now, if I want some, I'm trying to control that by having maybe like one small scoop of ice cream. Um, and I know and now I'm thinking, right, Lisa, come on, you need to be knocking that on the head and having something else because you've got this side effect that you're having, or maybe just have it over weekends. And I'm not really a big ice cream person. Problem is, my husband loves an ice cream, so it's in, and it's kind of one of them tempting things, and it's another thing to get over. But I can't tell you the amount of things that I'm saying no to. So so yeah, that is just a big thing for me. Now, weight loss. I don't think I told you how much I've lost, have I? Officially, I've lost 2 stone 8 pounds, which I'm quite pleased with. Some people might not necessarily be pleased with that, but I am, because it's a loss and it's been maintained. I started off, for context, I'm 5'5". I started off, well, 5'5" and a half. I started off at probably over 15 stone, and that is the heaviest I've ever been. And last summer, I was on a photo shoot for Avon in their TikTok house, and when I seen the photo, insert photo, Lisa. When I saw this photo, I was mortified and I didn't recognize myself. And I thought, oh my God, I've got to do something. And I got quite upset about it and thought, I'm not joining another slimming club. And I had met somebody and I didn't really know them very well. I might have told this story before. And they had said to me, oh, have you heard about this weight loss injection? And we were out having dinner. I won't say who it is or where we were. And she said, have you heard about this injection? And she might have thought, God, she's a bit overweight, or she might have thought, it's just general conversation. I do not know. And anyway, I came home and I Googled it, and I did quite a bit of research, probably for a couple of weeks before I decided to bite the bullet and try it. So, like I said, I was probably toppling the scales at 15 stone, and I was really making an effort for a couple of weeks while I was doing all this research, and I was going to the gym, and I was really, really focused, and yeah, came, like I say, it's probably more close to 3 stone how much weight I have actually lost, but officially it's 2 stone 8. And I was doing really well. I was going to the gym. And for anybody else that might have heard on any of my previous videos, I have really bad arthritis in my knee. In fact, I have been to the hospital today. And I'll give you a quick update about that in a minute. Put the knee update so I don't forget. Because I have a habit of forgetting things. So yeah, that is my weight loss. Officially 2 stone 8, but more like 3 stone. I'm really happy with that. I feel like my body shape's changing. However, I used to really love to go to the gym and the boot camp, but the boot camp was taking a really big toll on my knee. I left the boot camp I'd been going to for years that I loved with my friends, and stopped going for a while. And then I stopped going because I had some physio at the hospital. And when I say physio, you just go and they give you these exercises to do, and you come away and you just do them exercises. 6 weeks later, you go back and this carries on. This has been going on for years. I have had surgery on this knee 10 years ago, and I do have really, really bad arthritis in this knee. I have nerve damage in the back of my leg as well. A couple of days after going for this physio last September, my knee started to lock. And every time I get up now, it's locked and I have to just like click it out. And it knocks you sick a bit. And the pain in my knee is really bad. It's affecting my hip. It's slowing me down. So I stopped going to the gym because of the impact on my knee, and the pain was just really bad. Anyway, I joined another gym and gave that one a go, and that was really focused. The classes were smaller, it was really nice, but then we're starting to come into winter, and this is the time of year I really, really struggle. Honestly, I'm going through so many tissues, I'm exhausted. Right, so loved the new gym. Problem was, and it was great because it was so focused, but winter, Lisa doesn't like winter, and it was just a real struggle for me. And mentally, my brain took over and just said, stop going. Since I've stopped going, I'm still losing weight, and the knee pain isn't as extreme. It's still locking, however. So I have been referred to see a specialist, and this surgeon is the guy who did my husband's knee replacement at the back end of last year. Lovely fella. So, anywho, on we go. I've been to see him today, and he's given me three options: do nothing except just keep taking painkillers, try the cortisone again because I had cortisone last year and it didn't work, or go for another meniscopectomy, arthroscopectomy, whatever it's called. I'm not really sure. Basically, it's where they go in with keyhole, wash all the cartilage out, and then he'll do an investigation when he's in there to try and sort out this clicking. But he said he can't obviously do anything or see anything until that's been done. Now, I want to try and put that off if I can, just for a bit, and just try. So I've opted for the cortisone again, but I don't go back to have it until May, end of May. Well, kind of mid-May to the end of May. So that is the plan for the knee. I'm taking it easy, and I'm just going to kind of like look at some exercise options because I think that's what I need to do. But that is a bit of a struggle because I just can't do the high impact stuff. It's just sets me back. So yeah, the high impact stuff is not for me. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. So that, my lovelies, is my 8th month update. That is where I'm up to. They are my side effects. Uh, I don't know how long I'm going to stay on it for. I don't have any plans to stop taking it immediately. And I would like to try and get into the next stone bracket down. So I am now, what am I? 12 stone 2. So I'd like to try and get in the 11s. And do you know what? I feel great. I really feel great. Like when I'm going to work and I'm wearing my black and like sometimes I'm not repulsed by myself now. My holiday pictures, I was saying to my husband, I was like, right, come on, take some pictures of me, do this, do that. And while I don't feel where I want to be, I feel a hell of a lot better than I was last summer. So much better. Yeah, and I feel it's a really tricky subject because I'm really open about it. Somebody will say, I'll talk about my weight loss, you know, um, and when you say, oh, I'm taking like, because I often hear people don't like to like being called for taking the weight loss injection, and people I don't know, there'll be people who go, oh, so and so, he's lost so many stone he's lost so many stone on the weight loss injection, what's cheating? And I'm going, well, actually, I take it. And and then they kind of go, oh, like, so it's like some people think it's a shortcut, but it's like a lot of things. If you have a gastric band, you know, if you're taking a weight loss injection, it is not a shortcut. You still have to eat less food at the end of the day. For me, the slimming clubs just were too much of a yo-yo for me. But I know that I need to change my lifestyle, and it has been changed. And I think the big thing for me is finding the strength to say to people, I don't want breakfast. And that's kind of like being the biggest thing for me, is just having my juice and my coffee in the mornings until I feel hungry. Have What time is it now? 2:30. I have had a wrap this morning, probably about 12 o'clock. I've been out, done my shopping. I got a wrap in Tesco's because I knew I had a lot to do today, and that's kind of all I've had to eat today. I haven't thought about eating other food. I've got food in. I've been and done shopping. I brought some high protein yogurts, lots of fruit. I bought meals in for tonight and tomorrow and for some lunches for this week. So prep this week's really good. I'm really on the ball. So that's me. Let me know in the comments where you're at. I love knowing where you're all from. And honestly, it blows my mind when you go when you tell me where you're from. So let's see who is the furthest away. Let's see who is the nearest to me and who is watching the furthest away, because I'd love to know, because I'm dead nosy like that. I would just say, if you are, whatever diet you're on, listen to your body. And it's really hard. Like, I've done videos about food suppression and what it feels like. And I didn't know that food noise was a thing. I didn't know that food talked to you and said, eat me, eat me. And when it sends you to the fridge to open the fridge door to go and look at things. And you're constantly thinking, what's for lunch? What's for dinner? What snacks have we got? And sometimes you're just not hungry. And that has been the biggest milestone for me, is actually listening to me and not going along with everybody else. So, if other people want breakfast, let them have breakfast. I'll sit and have a coffee. And I did a lot of that on the cruise. I got into a really nice habit on the cruise of having my coffee while everyone else went and got their breakfast, come back and sit down, have a nice coffee, go and get another coffee. They're all munching their way through breakfasts. And then I was having watermelon and a yogurt, and I really loved it. It was beautiful. The fruit on a cruise, amazing. Yeah, the food is just gorgeous. So yeah, my loves, that is where I'm at. So my advice to you would be, listen to everyone's advice, do your own thing, listen to the medical people's advice, and really listen to your body. And if something doesn't feel right, then do something about it. So that is it. They are my words of wisdom for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully without these silly stripes. I've never had this before. What is going on? See you next time. Bye.